100 days of Stardew Valley as a fisher. I gave myself 3 simple goals: collect every fish excluding the Ginger Island exclusive ones, complete the community center, and make 1 million gold by the end of the 100 days. My only rules are I can't use any exploits or reset any days. I almost forgot to mention I can only sell fish or fish related items, so if I pull a diamond out of a chest while fishing, I can sell that diamond, but if I get that diamond through mining, I can't sell it. That goes the same for plants or crops. And before we start, this is my first ever Stardew challenge, so I'm gonna mess up a lot, and trust me, I know I regret a bunch of the stuff I do in this challenge, but hopefully you enjoy. Anyways, 100 days of Stardew Valley as a fisher. Future Jack here. I completely forgot to say which farm I choose. I choose the Riverland farm. It's probably the worst thing I did. It comes with a fish smoker, so that's pretty good, but it's just not a good looking farm, and you can fish river fish here, but I don't find out till way later into the playthrough, so choose any other farm. Anyways, back to day 1. I start day 1 by planting all my parsnips, watering all my crop tiles, and chop some trees down. I also clear the top and bottom entrance of my farm. I make my way up to Pierre's and buy 1 potato seed, 1 cauliflower, 1 green bean, and 4 kale seeds. I make my way back to my farm, craft 2 chests, and end the day by chopping down some trees. I also hit level 1 foraging. Day 2, I water my plants and make my way to Willie's shop to get our first fishing rod. And after an extremely long cutscene, I spend the rest of the day fishing in the ocean. I managed to get 2 sea jelly and almost hit level 3 fishing. Day 3, it rains, and I know it's more profitable to catch catfish, but I'm just not a good fisher, so instead I make my way to the mountain lake and fish for the rest of the day. I end up getting a couple of perfect catches, so I hit level 5 fishing by the end of the day, and I also got some pieces of copper from a treasure chest, unlocking the furnace recipe. I end up choosing the angler profession, letting me sell my fish for 25% more gold. On day 4, Clint makes his way to my house and gives me the furnace recipe. I water my plants and make my way to Willie's shop to sell some fish and buy our fiberglass fishing rod. I also buy a lot of bait. I end up fishing for the rest of the day in the mountain lake, reaching level 6 fishing and unlocking the bait maker. Now that I have the bait maker, I can explain my strategy that's gonna help me get 100,000 gold by the end of spring. I'll be using the bait makers to make bullhead bait. They don't give as much gold as largemouth bass, but they're a lot easier to catch, and they give a good amount of XP, and on average I can catch 20 to 30 bullheads. That's still a nice chunk of gold. We'll be using this strategy till I hit level 10 fishing or unlock the mine carts. Anyways, day 5, Marnie tries to give me a cat, but I don't accept it. Life for this cat wouldn't be good. I'm just too busy, and the cat deserves someone better. I also hate cats, so I harvest my parsnips and reach level 1 farming. I check the traveling merchant and make my way to the mines, just barely reaching floor 20. I managed to get enough copper for a furnace and a pick upgrade. Unfortunately, I pass out, but I hit level 1 mining. Day 6, I cook my copper, craft a scarecrow, and go foraging for the community center bundle. I end up getting 3 out of 4 forageables and spend the rest of the day fishing. I also reach level 2 foraging. I almost forgot to mention, I end up buying 300 pieces of wood to repair the bridge in the ocean, so we can start looking for sea urchins for our bait maker. Spoiler alert, we don't have great luck finding it. Day 7, I harvest my crops, check the traveling merchant, and visit the wizard, where I think I have an acid trip with him. It lets me understand the Junimo. But after that, I buy some kale and finish up the foraging bundle. I make my way to the mountain lake and fish and get lots of gold, like an ungodly amount of gold, and end the day by selling some fish, reaching level 2 farming and level 7 fishing. Day 8, I make my way to Clint and upgrade my pickaxe. I buy some iron ore and fish in the mountain lake. I end up getting a dinosaur egg from a treasure chest. I think that's pretty rare, I'm pretty sure. I continue to fish till 12 and make my way to my farm, reaching level 8 fishing. Day 9, I just fish in the mountain lake. That's literally all. That's all I have for notes. I just fish. And before we get into day 10, I have some bad news. I lost all the game audio for days 10 through 20, so I'll try to summarize it as fast as I can. Day 10, I make my way to Clint's and pick up my copper pickaxe, and I spend the rest of the day fishing till I hit level 9 fishing. Day 11, I donate some items to the community center and continue to fish in the mountain lake, and end the day selling 4,500 gold worth of fish. Day 12, I check the traveling merchant and make my way to the beach, finally finding the sea urchin for our bait maker, and I decide to use it for bullheads as they give good XP and decent amount of money. They're also pretty easy to catch. While fishing, I end up getting the trident, a pretty strong weapon. I also finished the day with 24 bullheads. That's not too bad. Day 13, I harvest my kale, reach level 3 farming, and set the layout for strawberries. If you're wondering why it's such a weird layout, that's because I was planning to use basic sprinklers, but I never do. I make my way to the festival and buy 108 strawberry seeds, and I play the egg hunt game and somehow win. My reward is a pretty cool hat. I mean, just look at it. That's a pretty cool hat. On day 14, I get to choose between the fruit cave or the mushroom cave. I choose the correct answer, the fruit cave. I make my way to the traveling merchant and she has a duck egg, which I regret not buying. But I finish my strawberry farm and end the day by fishing. I hit level 10 fishing and choose the angler profession, letting me sell my fish for 50% more gold. Day 15. With no sprinklers, I have to water every crop by hand, so half the day is spent just watering crops. I didn't really think that through, did I? That also means a lot of my energy is gone by the time I finish. And if you're wondering, this stays true till, well, the end of the season. Back to the day, I complete the crab pot bundle and the spring crop bundle. I also spend the rest of the day fishing. Day 16, I buy some gold from Clint and upgrade my pickaxe again. I spend the rest of the day smelting gold and fishing. I also made 7,650 gold worth of fish. That's pretty great. Day 17, I just fish. That's it. I fish. Day 18 is a little more exciting. I visit Clint and upgrade my pickaxe one more time. I spend the rest of the day fishing. Day 19, I check the traveling merchant and she has fish too. It gives a 3+ to fishing, which will come in handy for the legend. I also find my second sea urchin and spend the rest of the day fishing. On day 20, I pick up my pickaxe from Clint and rush to the mines, making it all the way to floor 45. On the way down, I get some resources and a couple of community center items. I end the day by getting level 1 combat and level 2 mining. Audio is back, by the way, so that's good, I think. Day 21, I collect my rice and some strawberries, which gets me to level 4 farming. I make my way to the traveling card and get a cutscene telling me about the sewers, which we do need to unlock to collect all fish. I also complete the geologist bundle and made my way to the mines, collecting a door scroll, resources, and the last donations needed to complete the boiler room and unlock the mine carts. I bet the Junimo tastes pretty good. Day 22, I harvest some strawberries and I get to level 5 farming. I also crafted 5 furnaces and started smelting all the ores I've collected so far. And now that I have the mine carts, I can start fishing for largemouth bass. And that's exactly what I do for the rest of the day. I fish for largemouth bass. I also choose the tiller profession, even though it doesn't matter since I can't sell any crops. Day 23, I make my way to Willie's shop and buy some bobbers and trout soup. I spend a good chunk of the day fishing for largemouth bass and the rest fishing in the cave. With no luck, I sell some fish too. Day 24, I try to catch most of the fish I need to complete goal 1, and I almost do. But if you haven't noticed, it hasn't rained. Keep in mind, we're on day 24 by now. Most of the rain fish can be caught in different seasons, but there's one that can't. The legend. If I don't catch the legend, I automatically fail the first goal. So I was getting a bit nervous, but I continued the day fishing, trying to complete goal 1. Day 25, if you haven't noticed yet, on the top right of my screen, you can actually see what the weather's gonna be like for the next day. I forgot about this. So the whole time I thought it was over. I thought I was gonna fail the first goal on the first season. Luckily it was gonna rain tomorrow, so I still have a chance. Anyways, back to day 25. I buy some wood from Robin and make some chests. I also spend the rest of the day mining and hit floor 85. Day 26, it's finally raining and it seems like it's gonna rain tomorrow as well. This made me extremely relieved as it meant all my work wasn't gonna go to waste. Anyways, I visited the traveling merchant and made my way to my lucky fishing spot. Yes, I have a lucky fishing spot, and yeah, it does work, trust me. And now I just wait for the legend, and it does take a while to hook him, but when I do, he stands no chance thanks to my lucky fishing spot and the fish stew, and of course my fishing skills. I catch him, I catch him. But with that done, I spend the rest of the day catching fish I'm still missing. Day 27, it continues to rain and I harvest all my strawberries, reaching level 6 farming and unlocking the quality sprinklers. I also organize my chest, if you can call it that, and spend the rest of the day catching and cooking catfish. I end the day by selling 12,300 gold worth of catfish and 1,500 gold worth of diamonds I caught fishing. This brings us 13,800 gold closer to our challenge. Day 28, I donate some stuff to the community center and make my way back to my farm and craft some quality sprinklers, which I completely forget I need gold for. I'm not too bright. So I only make 5. I also checked the traveling merchant and she has 2 items I need, the duck feather and the large milk. I also decided to check my fruit cave and I get a nice amount of community center items and spend the rest of the day mining and cooking catfish. I end the day selling 13,000 gold worth of catfish, just barely finishing my 100,000 gold challenge. And that marks the end of spring year 1. I start day 29 by organizing my inventory and making my way to the mines to get gold, quartz, and any other materials I needed, while at the same time smelting all the ores I've collected so far. I end the day by getting a nice amount of gold and quartz and even get some totems. I reach level 100 in the mines and get my first star drop. I also reached level 4 combat and level 5 mining, choosing the miner profession. Day 30 is pretty similar to day 29. I make my way to the mines, smelt ore, and reach level 120 of the mines, unlocking the Skull Cavern key, which I obviously can't use since I haven't unlocked the desert. Anyways, I continue the day smelting and collecting gold and silver, ending the day organizing my inventory, and also reach level 5 combat and choose the fighter profession. Day 31, things switch up. I make my way to the mines, pick up the furnaces, and make my way to Clint's to upgrade my axe. While waiting, I fish up a pike from the river and give my axe to Clint. I make my way to Willie's shop and get a cutscene where he talks about the shop and how repairing the community center might help him out. I've actually never seen this cutscene before, and it kind of inspired me to maybe complete the community center a little faster, so let's hope we get that red cabbage. I spent the rest of the day smelting ore and catching a nice chunk of the ocean fish we need for goal 1. I also started to make sea cucumber bait. On day 32, I decided to make 20 sprinklers and start setting up my crop layout. I also bought 100 hops and all the other seeds I need for this season. If you're wondering why hops, I think they give the most XP, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I also bought some coal from Clint as I ran out. I spent the rest of the day trying to figure out my crop layout and lose track of time passing out on my farm. Day 33, as you can see, it's not the prettiest layout, but it should work. I also decided to make more sprinklers, filling up the smallest island with them. After this, I make my way to Clint's to pick up my axe and make a stop at Pierre's shop for corn and melon seeds, planting them on my farm and clearing up the little island. I spent the rest of the day chopping down hardwood, reaching level 4 foraging and unlocking the tree tappers. I start day 34 by collecting as many forageables as possible. I get a nice amount of almost everything, and I also try to get a sturgeon but have no luck. Not even my lucky fishing spot worked. I spent the rest of the day fishing up sea cucumbers and making them into bait. Day 35, I check the traveling merchant and she ends up having a truffle, so I make my way to Pierre's and sell 1 cooked sea cucumber. I go back to the traveling merchant and buy the truffle. I end up getting a sturgeon and make bait and spend the rest of the day fishing up sea cucumbers. Day 8 through 9 were spent catching and cooking sturgeons from 6 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and catching and cooking sea cucumbers from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m., making a grand total of almost 36,000 gold. On day 38, I make my way to Willie's and buy 21 trout soup and 4 dressed spinners. After that, I make my way to Robin's and buy the materials for my coop and the big chest recipe. I spend the rest of the day fishing and cooking copper. I start day 39 by crafting a large chest and making my way to the mountain lake to fish up some sturgeon, and I end up catching 36 of them. Since the luau takes place in the beach, I can't fish up sea cucumbers, so instead I make some more sturgeon bait and fish up a lava eel. I also spend the rest of the day trying to find a pike but have no luck. Day 40, I visit the traveling merchant and end up picking a large goat milk and 1 farmer's lunch, which should help me get those 5-star crops for the community center bundle. And of course, I make my way to the lake for the sturgeons and end up getting 12 of them. I also pick up my axe from Clint and buy some dress spinners from Willie and donate a nice amount of items to the museum and end the day by fishing for some sea cucumbers. Day 41, I decide to go to the secret woods as I have an iron axe that can chop down the large log blocking the entrance. I also chop down all the hardwood stumps in the secret woods and pick up a fiddlehead fern. I spend the rest of the day just trying to increase my foraging and end up hitting level 5 foraging and choosing the forester profession. Day 42, I check the traveling merchant and spend the rest of the day fishing up sturgeons and sea cucumbers. Day 43 is exactly the same. I fish up some sturgeons and sea cucumbers. I also end up selling some cooked sturgeon. Day 45, everything's green thanks to the green rain. That also means there's a lot, and I mean a lot, of fiber we can collect and moss. So that's exactly what we did for the rest of the day. We collected fiber. Actually, we collected 430 pieces of fiber and 200 pieces of moss. We also chopped down some trees, and I almost forgot, we harvested our hops and planted some summer seeds. I also sold some cooked fish. Day 46, I harvest my hops since they can be re-harvested every day, and that's how I'll start every every morning. Also, my melons are ready, but I'm waiting for the corn so I can use the farmer's lunch and get 5 gold star melons and 5 gold star corn. I spent the rest of the day fishing like usual and forgot to record myself buying 15,000 gold worth of lures. Day 47, I fish like usual and get another dinosaur egg and end the day by fishing up sea cucumbers. Day 48, our corn is finally ready, so I eat my farmer's lunch and start harvesting my melons and corn. I end up with 14 gold star melons and 9 gold star corn. I also harvested all the other crops we needed for the community center and decided to try to get the crimson fish, the legendary fish for this season. I hook him pretty fast and catch him first try. After this, I get the ice pike and the rockfish. I also got a cave jelly. Day 49 is another fishing day where I catch sturgeons and sea cucumbers and end the day by selling some fish. Day 50, I collect my sap from the trees and check the traveling merchant and buy a sweet gemberry. I also decide to fish in the ocean for the day and finally get the puffer fish. I end the day by cooking and selling some fish. Day 51, I sell 25 sea cucumbers and use the gold I made to buy 75 pieces of coal from Clint. And if you haven't noticed yet, I'm gonna cook all 75 sea cucumbers, doubling their sell value. Also, for some reason, I decide to fish up gobbies, but I spend the rest of the day fishing on floor 100 and cooking my sea cucumbers. I also get a cave jelly. While sleeping, I get a cutscene, I think, that basically tells me I can find mystery boxes, so that's cool, I guess. Day 52, I harvest my crops, and the forageable seeds I planted were finally ready to be harvested. I also decided to use up all my sturgeon bait and end the day by fishing on floor 100 and cooking sea cucumbers. Day 53, I continue to fish up sturgeon and cook cucumbers, ending the day by fishing on floor 100 and getting another cave jelly. I also sold all my cooked sea cucumbers, making a grand total of 84,375 gold. I start day 54 by grabbing gems, artifacts, and geodes to donate to the museum and take to Clint. I also grab materials for a coop upgrade and make my first stop at Robin's, purchasing the coop upgrade. My second stop is Pierre's shop for the backpack upgrade. After this, I make my way to the museum and donate a bunch of stuff and grab my reward, a rare crow that looks like a raccoon. I also pass by Willie's shop and buy a couple of cork bobbers and a lot of trout soup. Finally, I go to Clint's to purchase 195 pieces of coal and make my way back and forth from the museum to Clint's to process geodes and donate new items I get. By the end of it, I only need 6 more donations to unlock the sewer key, which is not too bad. Day 55, I check the traveling merchant and chop down some hardwood, spending the rest of the day fishing on floor 100 and cooking sturgeon. On day 56, I basically spent the whole day cooking sturgeon and didn't leave my farm. Finally, day 57. I collect the last 3 sturgeons I cooked for a total of 189 gold star sturgeons or 170 gold. I also checked the traveling merchant and bought 1 piece of cloth and purchased 1 duck and 2 chickens from Marnie. I spent the rest of the day organizing my farm for fall. Day 58, the first thing I do is talk to Emily and get access to her sewing machine, which we will be using. After that conversation, I grab a bunch of fish and my sweet gemberry seed and make my way to Willie's, where I sell them, making over 16,000 gold, which I used to buy one of every seed needed for the community center, 30 bok choy and 100 pumpkins. I made my way back to my farm where I ready the land and plant all my crops, watering only the bok choy. I spent some time trying to catch tiger trout but have no luck. I end the day by donating a bunch of stuff to the community center. Also, I didn't know this, but you can fish up river fish in the Riverland farm. That would probably explain the name. I spent day 59 catching tiger trout and making them into bait, and spent the rest of the day doing random things like setting up my crab pots. Day 60, I catch tiger trout till 7 p.m. and spend the rest of the day catching midnight fish. If you're wondering why midnight fish and not sea cucumbers, I just got bored of sea cucumbers. Day 61 is basically the same as day 60. The only difference is that I trap myself in the mountain lake and pass out. I'm not the brightest. Day 62, my bok choy is ready, and harvesting it gets me to level 10 farming, which, believe it or not, is extremely important when it comes to fishing, thanks to the fish smoker. I'll explain later. But I also get 2 legend roe from my fish pond, which I put in preserve jars, but unfortunately it does take 3 days for it to be ready. But trust me, it's worth it. Anyways, I check the traveling merchant and make my way to Willie's, buying some trout soup and more cork bobbers, spending the rest of the day fishing. Before we start day 63, I want to explain why level 10 farming is so important for fishing. If you already know, just skip to day 63. But basically, at level 10 farming, you unlock the Artisan profession that lets you sell artisan goods for 40% more gold, which also includes smoked fish and aged roe. So normally that 189 smoked sturgeon we have would sell for 170,000 gold, but thanks to the Artisan profession, it sells for 238,000 gold. That also means that each legend roe sells for 7,000 gold. Basically, that 1 million gold goal is gonna be a lot easier now. Day 63, I spent fishing for tiger trout till 7 and spent the rest of the day fishing up midnight carp, and I actually sold 30,000 gold worth of cooked midnight carp. Day 64 to 66, I fish, but I also get a couple walleyes and finally get the ancient seed on day 66 from a treasure chest. Day 67, I forage while making my way to Willie's to buy some trout soup and a lot of cork bobbers. I also decided to get the legend for the season, the angler. I also end the day by fishing for midnight fish. Day 68, I continue to fish up tiger trout and end the day by fishing up midnight carp. On day 69, I visit the traveling merchant and pick up a large egg. And since it's gonna rain today and tomorrow, I decide to fish up for catfish for the rest of the day and end up with a little over 50 catfish. Not too bad. Day 70, I continue to fish up catfish and end the day with an extra 50 catfish, bringing our total to 102 catfish in 2 days. I also decide to sell all my cooked fish, including the sturgeons from last season, which sells for a total of 271,307 gold, bringing us to almost 600,000 total gold earnings, meaning we are more than halfway done with goal 1. Anyways, day 71, I buy a tea sapling and a rare crow from the traveling merchant, make my way to Clint's and buy 410 coal, which I'll be using to cook my fish. I also donate my ancient seed to Gunther, unlocking the ancient seed recipe and the ancient seed seed. I make my way back to Clint's and buy some copper and make my way to Robin's to buy a lot of wood and stone. I also end up buying the deluxe coupe upgrade. Finally, I visit the Adventurers Guild and buy the lava katana. I also decide to finish the vault bundles, unlocking the bus. Day 72, I get a visit from Gunther. It turns out those 2 donations were the last ones I needed to unlock the sewer, so that's pretty nice. Also, my pumpkins are ready, which means I can start donating my items to the community center, which I do. I end up finishing the pantry bundle and unlocking the greenhouse. Finally, I make my way to the sewers, buy a star drop, and also catch the mutant carp, a legendary fish. Day 73, I plant my ancient seed in my greenhouse, make my way to the fair, where I gamble and play the fishing minigame, eventually buying the star drop and a rare crow. Day 74, I bought my second fish pond from Robin, made my way to the ocean to catch a couple fish I was missing. I also visit the desert and get the sandfish, but had no luck with the scorpion carp. Day 75, I get the last ocean fish I'm missing for the season, buy some lures, and switch my bobber style. I end up catching the wood skipper from the secret woods, and finally, struggle but get the scorpion fish. No joke, this fish was harder to catch than legendary fish. I'm not sure why it's so hard, but we did it. I end the day by cooking the last of my fish. Day 76, I buy another fish pond from Robin and also get a new ring, upgrade my axe, and spent the rest of the day in the mines. Day 77. By this point, there isn't much for me to do. I caught all the fish I needed for the season, and I'm about to hit 1 million gold, so I decided to visit the Skull Caverns. And even while being underprepared, not having any food buffs or many bombs, I managed to hit floor 46 and grab a couple of iridium ores, which I end up cooking. Day 78, I put a crimson fish in a fish pond and buy a lucky lunch from the traveling merchant. I also decided to get the rest of the dwarf scroll so I can start purchasing bombs for the Skull Cavern runs. My strategy is to just kill everything for the rest of the day, but unfortunately I don't have much luck. But I get a rainbow shard, so it wasn't all bad. Day 79, I bought another fish pond and made my way to the desert where I get the galaxy sword. I spent the rest of the day farming for the scrolls and actually get both of them. I should also mention I'm trying to get the burglar's ring, so I'm gonna be farming a lot of dust sprites. I spent day 81 farming dust sprites. Day 82, I pick up my sweet gemberry, take it to the secret woods, and give it to the statue, which rewards me with a star drop. I also finally killed 500 dust sprites, letting me collect my burglar's ring, but since it was pretty late, I made my way to my farm and sold all my cooked catfish, making me a lot of gold. Day 83, I collect wool from my rabbit to make into cloth, which I'll use to make into special clothes. Unfortunately, I forget about this, so you have to wait till winter to see these special clothes. Anyways, I buy some food from the traveling merchant and pick up my ring from the guild and end the day at 7 since there's nothing else for me to do. I spent day 84 chopping down trees and clearing my farm as I wait for the festival. When the festival finally opens up, I buy a rare crow and get the golden pumpkin. Finally, day 85. I decide to go into the skull caverns even though I'm not ready and obviously don't make it too far. I forget to record the rest of the day, but there wasn't much left. Day 85, the first of winter. I start by organizing my inventory and make my way to the secret woods. I'll be chopping down hardwood for the rest of the season or till I hit level 10 forging. I make my way back to my farm to pick up some cloth, a rockfish, a largemouth bass, and an apricot. Then I get a cutscene of Krobus and realize it's his birthday, so maybe I'll get him a gift. Anyways, I pick up my copper hoe from Clint, upgrade my water bucket, and make my way back to my farm. I plant some coffee beans and a tea sapling. Finally, I make my way back to Emily's house and craft a fishing hat, fishing vest, and a pair of relaxed pants. Now I actually look like a fisher. So I decided to catch some fish I need, starting with the perch, then the lingcod. Once I was done with that, I planted a bunch of tree seeds in the desert and gave Krobus a gift. It's kind of funny how the first person I give a gift to is Krobus, but I end the day catching a squid. Day 86, I make my way to the mines to cook some gold and level up my mining and combat. And I actually end up hitting level 8 combat and level 9 mining, unlocking the crystallarium. I spend the rest of the day chopping down wood, reaching level 8 forging. Day 87, I continue to forge and cook some iron. I also make my way to Clint's and pick up my watering can, and since I have nothing else to do, I go to the desert and plant some more trees, ending the day by fishing up some seaweed for more ponds. Day 88, I chop down some trees and make my way to Robin's, where I buy some stone and a fish pond. I also get my watering can upgrade and finally visit the saloon, find some deluxe speed grow. I end the day by chopping down some trees. I also forgot to mention I crafted some crystallariums and put jade into them. That should help with the skull caverns. Day 89, the bookseller's in town, so I buy 3 books. The Book of Stars, which gives me XP in every skill, Woodcutter's Weekly, giving me XP in foraging, and finally The Way of the Wind Part 1, increasing my speed by a bit. I end the day by putting some more trees in the desert and going into the skull caverns, not getting anything too good. I also get the winter snow yam so I can start making winter seeds. Day 90, I plant a bunch of forageable seeds and make my way to Clint's to upgrade my watering can one more time. I also forage and buy another fishing pond. I end the day by planting some seeds and donating some items to the community center. I also hit level 9 foraging. Day 91, I get a visit from Pierre talking about his seeds and his next year's stock. Anyways, I go to the desert and plant some more tree seeds and decide to catch the legend for this season, the glacier fish. It's also the last legendary fish we'll be catching for these 100 days. Day 92, the Festival of Ice takes place today, so I wait till it opens and start the fishing competition. Even with my late start, I get first place and get a couple of rewards. And that's basically all for day 92. Day 93, not much happens, so I go into the mines to try to level up my mining and combat. Day 94, I go buy some stone from Robin and spend the rest of the day farming for bone fragments in the mine. I also realize I'm broke, so I decide to sell all my cooked tiger trout and aged roe. This means I completed my first goal of reaching 1 million gold. Day 95, I make my way to Robin's and buy about 4 stacks of stone for future fish ponds. I also buy a shed that I'll be using to organize my chest, and bought some speed grow and finished the craft rooms bundle, unlocking the quarry. It's also a good time to admit I'm not finishing the community center. I messed up and didn't buy the apple tree in time. I completely forgot about it, and by the time I realized, it was too late. Not only that, but I didn't even get the red cabbage. I was just unlucky with it. So unfortunately, I'll have to complete it in the next 100 days. Back to day 95, I ended by planting a bunch of winter seeds. Day 96, I pick up a seafoam pudding from the traveling merchant and made my way to the mines, where I throw a voodoo doll in the lava and get a far away stone. I'm not sure what it does, but it's pretty cool. I spend the rest of the day clearing the quarry. Day 97, I was foraging in the ocean and realized there was some sort of squid event and seemed to give prizes. So I went back to my farm to pick up my fishing gear and fished up squid. I ended the day with just about 13 squid and collect my rewards, which include some winter seeds, food, treasure chest, a book, and a squid hat. By the way, the book lets crab pots yield double the items, I think. That's also the end of day 97. Day 98. It's almost the end, so I decided to finally organize my chest. This is the setup I'm going for, and I basically spend the whole day organizing my items. But I end up visiting the traveling merchant, and she ends up having the woodcutter's book for sale, which gives 250 fortune XP. So I end up buying 12 of them, or 72,000 gold worth of books. I think it's a good investment, or at least I hope so. Anyways, I also end up buying 5 lucky lunches and complete my chest setup. You'll get a better look tomorrow. Day 99. Here's a better look at the setup. I also had to make 2 fishing chests because I just had too many of them. But I made my way to Robin's and bought my house upgrade after 99 days. And I waited for the night market to open so I can catch the last 4 fish I was missing. I also want to point out how close I was to completing my skills. I especially did not think I would have mining, forging, or combat this high. Anyways, I make my way to the night market, check the traveling merchant, and finally make my way to the submarine. I used my octopus bait so I could catch him first, but I ended up catching the spookfish first and ended up using all my octopus bait. So I was a little nervous, but the next fish I caught was the midnight squid, followed by the blobfish. Now I was really nervous since it was getting really late and there was no sign of any octopus. But somehow I got lucky and caught the last fish I was missing, the octopus, which was extremely hard. It also turns out it only has a 2.2% chance of getting hooked. So I would definitely recommend catching them during the summer. I also passed out. Finally, day 100. There wasn't much for me to do anymore. I made 1 million gold, caught every fish I needed, and there wasn't much I can do for the community center. So I took care of my ponds and made my way to the night market, where I checked the traveling merchant, listened to a mermaid sing, and get a pearl. And that's it. That's the end of the 100 days in Stardew Valley as a fisher. Well, I gave myself 3 simple goals: collect every fish, complete the community center, and make 1 million gold by the end of the 100 days. So, did I complete the goals? Well, let's start with goal 1. Catch every single fish. The octopus was a little scary, but we caught it last minute, and we caught every other fish we needed, so goal 1 was complete. As for goal 2, the community center, didn't have as much luck. I messed up with the apple tree and didn't get lucky with the red cabbage, so goal 2, I failed. And finally, goal 3, make 1 million gold. Honestly, out of all 3 of these goals, I thought this one was the one I was gonna fail, especially at the end of the summer. But thanks to the artisan profession and the fish ponds, we finished this one a lot earlier than I thought. Overall, I think I did pretty good. Honestly, I did better than I thought I would. And hopefully I do better in the next 100 days. But if you like this video, a sub and a like would help out a lot. That's it. Bye.